The political and social worlds collided this week in a shocking turn of events that no one saw coming. Erika Kirk, known for her tightly controlled public persona, may have just made a critical misstep, and the consequences could be far-reaching. The leak from Micky McCoy's wife has thrown a spotlight on Erika's alleged connections to a violent incident involving Charlie Kirk, a revelation that is already sending shockwaves across social media and political commentary circles. Suddenly, whispers, rumors, and speculation have transformed into headlines, and everyone is scrambling to make sense of what is fact and what is conjecture. The situation is already chaotic. Erika has spent years cultivating her image, carefully navigating public attention while keeping her personal and professional life closely guarded. But with the leak, the veil of secrecy has been torn apart, exposing connections that she likely never intended to be public. Micky McCoy's wife, either intentionally or accidentally, revealed details that tie Erika to a controversial shooting incident involving Charlie Kirk, sparking questions about her involvement, knowledge, and motives. The implications are staggering, and the public's response has been immediate and intense. Social media erupted almost instantly after the leak. Users dissected every detail, speculating on Erika's role, the timing of events, and the credibility of the claims. Some supporters rushed to defend her, claiming the leak could be misleading or taken out of context. Others were quick to condemn her, interpreting the revelation as proof of hidden agendas and involvement in a scandal that could damage reputations, careers, and alliances. Meanwhile, journalists and political commentators have begun investigating, looking for corroborating evidence, witness accounts, and official statements to clarify the situation. Erika herself has not remained silent. Publicly, she has denied wrongdoing, framing the leak as a misunderstanding or exaggeration. But behind closed doors, sources suggest she is scrambling to manage fallout, consulting legal advisors, and attempting to control the narrative before it spirals further out of control. The combination of public scrutiny and private maneuvering has created an unprecedented level of pressure, raising questions about what Erika knew when she knew it and how much she may have tried to conceal. The stakes are enormous. This is not simply a personal scandal. It involves high-profile figures, allegations of violence, and potential legal consequences. Charlie Kirk, a prominent public figure, now finds himself at the center of another controversy that could influence public perception, media narratives, and political alliances. Erika's position is equally precarious. One misstep could endanger her credibility, professional relationships, and social standing. The leak has effectively set the stage for a confrontation that is as unpredictable as it is explosive. In a world where digital evidence can spread faster than truth and where public opinion can shift in hours, the Erika Kirk situation demonstrates how fragile carefully constructed images can be. With Micky McCoy's wife inadvertently or deliberately pulling back the curtain, Erika is now facing scrutiny she may not be prepared to handle. And while the public watches, questions multiply. What really happened with Charlie Kirk? How deeply was Erika involved? And most importantly, how will this drama resolve before it spirals completely out of control? The morning after the leak, the tension surrounding Erika Kirk's alleged connection to Charlie Kirk's shooting incident had already reached a fever pitch. Social media was ablaze with speculation, analysis, and outright accusations, with each post dissecting every detail of the leak from Micky McCoy's wife. Analysts and commentators on both political and mainstream platforms were trying to piece together the timeline, the nature of Erika's involvement, and whether this revelation was accidental or intentional. For Erika, the reality of the situation was sinking in fast. The careful persona she had built over the years was suddenly under assault, and every move she made would now be scrutinized under a microscope. Erika spent the early hours reviewing statements, calls, and any correspondence that could help her assess the extent of exposure. Sources close to her indicated that she was in constant contact with legal advisors and PR experts, carefully crafting a narrative that could both deny direct involvement while mitigating the reputational damage. Every word had to be deliberate, every public statement calculated. A single misstep could escalate the situation into a full-blown legal and social firestorm. She had always been meticulous about controlling her public image, but this was different. This leak was not something she could simply spin or redirect. It was direct, specific, and damning in its implications. Meanwhile, the public response was immediate and relentless. Thousands of online users, political enthusiasts, and social media influencers had begun digging into every post, video, and public record related to Erika Kirk, Micky McCoy, and Charlie Kirk. The internet's collective investigative efforts rapidly uncovered connections that, in some cases, were circumstantial but nevertheless alarming. Every detail, no matter how minor, became a talking point. Commentators debated whether Erika had knowledge of the shooting in advance, whether she played any indirect role, or whether her connections were purely social or professional. The ambiguity was creating the perfect storm because speculation spread faster than confirmed facts, leaving the public to form opinions based on fragments of information. In the midst of this chaos, Erika prepared for her first official statement. The timing was critical. Yet, delaying too long would allow narratives to solidify in public perception. Speaking too soon, without the full context, risked saying the wrong thing. Her advisors recommended a strategy: maintain calm, assert denial of any wrongdoing, emphasize a lack of knowledge, and appeal to the public's sense of fairness. Erika rehearsed her statement repeatedly, balancing assertiveness with caution. Every sentence had to be believable, authoritative, and yet carefully non-committal regarding her connection to the events surrounding Charlie Kirk. The leak from Micky McCoy's wife added an extra layer of complication. It wasn't just that details were shared, it was that the leak came from someone within her inner circle, someone who had first-hand knowledge of her associations. Whether intentional or accidental, it indicated vulnerability. While people began questioning her judgment and alliances, wondering how someone so close to her could compromise her privacy in such a dramatic way. For Erika, this internal breach was perhaps as dangerous as any external accusation. Trust within her network now came under scrutiny, and every alliance had to be reassessed carefully. As the day unfolded, legal advisors began compiling a comprehensive dossier. They reviewed the leak, cross-referenced claims, and outlined potential legal ramifications. The goal was to be prepared for every eventuality. Questions from journalists, inquiries from authorities, and possible public backlash. Erika's team emphasized one point repeatedly: the public had to perceive her as calm, credible, and cooperative, regardless of the internal chaos. This meant carefully managing appearances, social media, and any informal communication that could be interpreted as inconsistent or evasive. Meanwhile, Charlie Kirk's camp was reacting to the news. Being at the center of a shooting-related controversy is no small matter, and the emergence of Erika Kirk's alleged ties complicated matters further. PR advisors and legal teams began evaluating whether to publicly comment, deny any connection, or wait for additional confirmation. Each decision was critical. One misstep could harm not only Erika's reputation, but also Charlie's public standing. The ripple effects of the leak were extensive, affecting alliances, social perception, and the broader political landscape. Public curiosity reached a fever pitch. Social media was flooded with memes, speculation threads, and debate videos. Every mention of Erika, Micky, or Charlie was amplified, and platforms were littered with people trying to connect the dots. Even casual observers who had previously ignored political gossip suddenly found themselves drawn into this intricate web of revelations, accusations, and uncertainty. For Erika, the sheer scale of attention was overwhelming, yet it underscored the urgency of her response strategy. By the evening, Erika had begun implementing a twofold approach: first, to publicly assert her non-involvement in any illegal activity, and second, to quietly investigate the leak internally. Sources suggest she was personally confronting allies, reviewing communications, and attempting to determine how Micky McCoy's wife had knowledge of sensitive information. The dual focus was necessary. Public perception could not be allowed to spiral out of control, and the source of the leak had to be contained before more details emerged. As part 1 concludes, it is clear that Erika Kirk is navigating one of the most intense pressures of her life. The leak has exposed vulnerabilities she may never have anticipated, and the stakes are higher than ever. Every move, from public statements to private investigations, is critical. The situation is evolving, unpredictable, and fraught with consequences that extend beyond personal reputation to involve high-profile figures, legal scrutiny, and public perception. The world is watching, and Erika must act decisively to manage the fallout while maintaining her composure under extraordinary pressure. The morning after Erika Kirk's slip-up, the intensity of the situation only increased. The leak from Micky McCoy's wife had already sent shockwaves through social media, and the implications were far from simple. Analysts, influencers, and political commentators dissected every word of the alleged connection to Charlie Kirk's shooting incident. Erika, meanwhile, was juggling multiple fronts: damage control, internal investigations, and preparations for potential legal inquiries. Every phone call, every email, and every meeting now carried heightened significance. Erika's team worked tirelessly. Public relations specialists prepared statements that could be released at a moment's notice, framing Erika as uninvolved and cooperative while subtly undermining the credibility of the leak. Legal advisors reviewed the information, searching for any evidence that could confirm or refute the alleged ties. They prepared contingency plans for court proceedings, media interviews, and potential public backlash. It was a delicate balancing act. Any misstatement could escalate the controversy, yet silence could be interpreted as guilt. Erika knew that her every move would be scrutinized not only by the public, but by authorities and political observers. Meanwhile, Micky McCoy's wife, the source of the leak, became an unexpected focal point. Questions circulated online. Was this intentional or accidental? Did she have a motive? Could she face repercussions? Observers speculated that the leak might have been a deliberate attempt to influence public opinion or pressure Erika into making concessions. Regardless of motive, the fact remained: the leak had occurred, and Erika's carefully maintained control over her public image was shattered. She now had to contend with both the fallout of the leak and the uncertainty of how much more information could emerge. On social media, the situation intensified rapidly. Threads analyzing Erika's past associations, political alliances, and personal connections exploded. Every public appearance, past interview, and social media post was scrutinized for hidden meanings or potential evidence of her involvement. Hashtags began trending, fan pages and opposition accounts debated her credibility, and speculation about the shooting incident grew increasingly sensationalized. For Erika, the challenge was clear. She had to counter misinformation while ensuring that her denials remained consistent, credible, and legally sound. Charlie Kirk's team also responded carefully. Being connected to a shooting, even indirectly, brought heightened scrutiny, and any public statement had to be meticulously crafted. Their approach was cautious. Publicly, they emphasized distancing Charlie from Erika's alleged ties, while privately coordinating with legal teams to assess potential liability. The leak not only complicated Erika's situation, but also had broader repercussions, affecting reputations, alliances, and the narrative surrounding Charlie Kirk. Inside Erika's circle, tensions ran high. Advisors debated the best strategies for handling interviews, press statements, and social media responses. Trust was strained as questions about the leak's origin raised concerns about loyalty and discretion. Erika herself conducted private meetings with key allies, seeking clarity on who may have been responsible and how to prevent further exposure. The emotional toll was significant. Weeks of carefully curated public perception now hung in the balance, and any misstep could have long-term consequences. While Erika focused on containment and reputation management, the public's curiosity did not wane. News outlets reported on the alleged ties, and social media influencers dissected every possible angle, speculating on motives and outcomes. Online forums became battlegrounds of opinion, with supporters defending Erika's innocence and detractors portraying her as complicit. The speed of information dissemination amplified the drama, leaving little room for nuanced discussion. Erika had to navigate not just the facts of the situation, but the perception of guilt or innocence in a hyper-connected digital environment. The political implications were equally significant. Erika's associations with influential figures, combined with the high-profile nature of Charlie Kirk's shooting, made this more than a personal scandal. Analysts discussed potential ramifications on political campaigns, public opinion, and alliances within influential circles. Every leaked detail could be used to support claims, rumors, or assumptions, meaning that Erika's management of both her public image and private communications was crucial. By evening, Erika began preparing for formal inquiries. Legal advisors organized all evidence, reviewing communications, verifying timelines, and cross-referencing the leaked information. Their goal was to create a clear, coherent, and defensible narrative that could withstand scrutiny from authorities, media, and public observers. At the same time, PR specialists prepared responses for interviews, press releases, and social media engagement, ensuring that Erika's voice remained consistent, calm, and authoritative. The leak had changed the dynamics of Erika's entire world. What was once private and controlled had now become become public and unpredictable. Every move, statement, and interaction had potential consequences, both legally and reputationally. Erika's ability to respond with precision, composure, and strategy would determine whether she could navigate the fallout effectively or be overwhelmed by it. As part 2 concludes, Erika stands at a critical juncture. The leak from Micky McCoy's wife has exposed vulnerabilities, triggered public scrutiny, and created pressure from multiple fronts. The situation is evolving rapidly, with social media amplifying every development, and political observers analyzing every connection, and legal teams preparing for every possible outcome. Erika's next steps will be pivotal in managing the narrative, defending her reputation, and ensuring that any potential consequences from the alleged ties to Charlie Kirk's shooting are carefully controlled. By the time part 3 begins, the pressure on Erika Kirk had reached an entirely new level. The leak from Micky McCoy's wife had ignited a firestorm, and the aftermath was now a complex web of media scrutiny, political speculation, and legal evaluation. Every tweet, post, and news article seemed to amplify the stakes, forcing Erika to balance public statements, private investigations, and strategic planning simultaneously. Her days were consumed with calls to advisors, reviewing leaked communications, and coordinating with legal counsel to ensure her position remained defensible. Erika's team worked around the clock to manage the narrative. Every detail from the leak had to be addressed carefully: the origin of the information, its credibility, and its potential legal implications. Advisors prepared detailed responses for any inquiries, ensuring consistency and accuracy. Social media managers monitored trends, identified misinformation, and responded to critical commentary in real time. This coordination was essential. A single misstep could allow speculation to solidify into perceived fact, further complicating Erika's already delicate situation. Meanwhile, public interest only continued to grow. Analysts, influencers, and commentators dissected the implications of Erika's alleged ties to the shooting incident involving Charlie Kirk. Many questioned whether her connection was direct or indirect, deliberate or coincidental. The ambiguity fueled debate, creating an environment where rumor often overshadowed verified information. News outlets ran multiple segments analyzing the leak, discussing potential motives, and speculating on consequences. Erika's personal and professional networks were scrutinized, and every past interaction or association came under renewed examination. Charlie Kirk's team also remained deeply engaged. While they publicly maintained distance from Erika's alleged ties, behind the scenes, legal advisors were reviewing timelines, communications, and potential exposure. Every allegation, no matter how speculative, had to be evaluated for credibility and impact. The team recognized that public perception could influence broader political and social consequences, and they moved carefully to protect Charlie's reputation while remaining responsive to emerging developments. The leak's implications extended beyond immediate reputations. Erika's social circle began experiencing tension as trust issues surfaced. Questions about loyalty, discretion, and the origin of the leak created fractures in previously stable relationships. Erika had to navigate these internal dynamics while simultaneously addressing public scrutiny, a balancing act that required careful diplomacy and strategic foresight. Advisors urged her to maintain transparency where possible, but also to safeguard private communications that could be misinterpreted or weaponized. Social media remained relentless. Every new development, denial, or statement was dissected, shared, and debated. Influencers and commentators created timelines, graphics, and videos summarizing alleged connections, often adding speculative commentary that blurred lines between fact and opinion. For Erika, this digital amplification created constant pressure. Online narratives moved faster than legal or investigative processes, requiring her team to respond proactively without overreacting or inadvertently admitting liability. By midweek, Erika had scheduled meetings with legal counsel to review potential outcomes and prepare for any formal inquiry. The focus was on ensuring that every detail could be verified, every communication documented, and every public statement defensible. The goal was to create a comprehensive record that would protect her legally and reputationally. Advisors emphasized that consistency, composure, and preparedness were essential. Any contradiction could be leveraged by critics or used to cast doubt on her credibility. The political ramifications were becoming more pronounced. Analysts suggested that this controversy could influence alliances, public perception, and future engagements for both Erika and Charlie Kirk. Political strategists evaluated how the leak might affect voter sentiment, public trust, and broader narratives about leadership, accountability, and responsibility. Erika's responses, both both public and private, would play a key role in shaping outcomes beyond her immediate circle. Internally, Erika also focused on damage control within her personal network. She engaged with allies to reassure them, clarify details, and identify the source of the leak. And the goal was not only to contain the current crisis, but to prevent further unauthorized disclosures. Trust became a primary concern, as the leak highlighted vulnerabilities that could be exploited if not addressed promptly. Erika's careful management of relationships, combined with legal preparedness, demonstrated her proactive approach to navigating the multifaceted challenges posed by the leak. As Part 3 unfolds, Erika also considered long-term implications. Beyond the immediate scandal, she recognized that her reputation, career trajectory, and social standing could be affected for months or even years. Her strategy needed to be sustainable, balancing short-term mitigation with long-term reputation management. Every interview, statement, and public appearance became an opportunity to reinforce her narrative of non-involvement, transparency, and accountability. The leak from Micky McCoy's wife had transformed a private association into a public spectacle, but Erika's disciplined approach demonstrated that careful preparation, strategic communication, and legal oversight could mitigate potential damage. While the public debate and media frenzy continued, Erika's focus remained on managing facts, controlling narratives, and safeguarding both her personal and professional credibility. By the end of Part 3, it was clear that Erika Kirk's situation was a high-stakes test of strategy, composure, and resilience. The leak had exposed vulnerabilities and triggered scrutiny across multiple fronts, but her deliberate, methodical response positioned her to navigate the fallout effectively. Public perception, legal considerations, and political ramifications all intertwined, creating a complex environment where every action mattered. Erika's next steps would determine not only the immediate resolution of the controversy, but also the long-term perception of her character, judgment, and integrity. The story remains dynamic, unpredictable, and deeply consequential. Observers will continue to watch, analyze, and speculate, but Erika's careful management of the situation serves as a reminder that in moments of crisis, preparation, transparency, and strategic thinking are the most powerful tools available. If you've been following this shocking controversy, it's clear that Erika Kirk's situation is far from ordinary. A single slip-up revealed through the leak from Micky McCoy's wife has thrust her into a whirlwind of media scrutiny, political speculation, and potential legal ramifications. This is not just another celebrity scandal. It is a high-stakes scenario where every decision, statement, and association could have serious consequences. Staying informed and understanding the facts is more important than ever. For viewers and followers, the lesson is critical. Perception can spread faster than reality, but facts and preparation matter more than viral speculation. Erika's careful management of her public statements, legal consultations, and internal investigations demonstrates the importance of handling crises strategically. Meanwhile, the leak underscores the risk of overlooked vulnerabilities, especially when private information falls into the wrong hands. It's a reminder that trust, discretion, and accountability are essential, particularly when high-profile figures and sensitive situations intersect. This story isn't just about Erika Kirk. The implications extend to Micky McCoy, Charlie Kirk, and the broader network of relationships affected by the leak. Public perception, political alliances, and reputations hang in the balance. Every online discussion, every article, and every social media post contributes to a rapidly evolving narrative. Erika's actions, along with the responses from those around her, will shape not only the immediate outcome, but also long-term perceptions of integrity, credibility, and judgment. If you want to follow this drama responsibly, pay attention to verified updates, official statements, and documented facts rather than speculation. Analyze how Erika navigates both the legal and public relations challenges, and observe the impact of the leak on her personal and professional relationships. This situation highlights how critical preparation, strategic communication, and careful documentation are in mitigating the consequences of unexpected revelations. Engagement is key, but it must be responsible. Discuss developments, share insights, and keep conversations focused on accountability, transparency, and the broader lessons from this incident. Avoid amplifying rumors or misinformation that could distort the reality of what happened. The story is a real-life lesson on crisis management, reputation protection, and the delicate balance of public and private information in high-stakes situations. Stay tuned for further developments. Watch how Erika and the others respond, and analyze each step with a critical eye. The leak from Micky McCoy's wife has already set off a chain reaction, and the coming weeks will likely determine not only the resolution of this controversy, but also its long-term impact on Erika Kirk's credibility, alliances, and influence. By observing carefully, you'll see how strategic planning, legal guidance, and controlled public communication can make all the difference in navigating a crisis of this magnitude. This story proves one thing: in moments of scandal and exposure, the right combination of preparation, transparency, and strategic action is essential. Erika Kirk's response will continue to be closely watched, and every decision she makes from this point forward will shape the narrative and define her public and professional standing. Stay informed, stay critical, and watch this high-stakes drama unfold in real time.